Hey everyone, welcome back to Quick Tips. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to use Excel. Now this is going to be a pretty quick overview, but for those who are brand new to Excel, just want to get a little taste of what Excel is. Maybe you're using it for the first time on a job, using it for the first time at school. This video is going to be perfect for you. I'm going to begin by just showing the sort of baseline functionality of Excel, and then I'm going to be working through just a small set of data and making a graph out of that data. Excel is commonly used to make different types of graphs, so I want to make sure that I illustrate that. But first and foremost, I'm going to show you guys just the basic functions within Excel. So to begin, when you type Excel just into the search bar on your computer, you're going to come into a page that looks like this. So right here, I have all of my old files, the ones that I've been working on in Excel in the past that are recent. Up here, I'm going to have all of these different templates. So this is much like Microsoft Word, where you can open up different sorts of templates. So here we have a Gantt chart, a monthly budget, an amortization schedule, chore schedule, etc. You can get a bunch more templates if you click here, but I'll leave that up to you guys to go and explore those templates as necessary. For now, we're going to go in and use a blank workbook. So when you open up a blank workbook, this is what you're going to see at first. So as you can see, we have just a whole blank sort of spreadsheet of different cells. And as you can see, along the top here, the columns are broken down into letters. Over here, the rows are broken down into numbers. So if you were to click into a certain cell, you can see that the name of the cell is based off of the row in the column. So this one is C4, and you can see I'm clicked into C4, and it also shows you right up here the name of the cell that you're actually selected into. Once you begin, sort of wanting to actually enter something into Excel, you can just begin typing. So again, you're going to want to click into the box, and you can start typing whatever. So I can type in, if I hit enter, I'm going to go straight down. So every time you type something in and hit enter, Excel is naturally going to take you down to the next box where I can type something new in. Another thing, this is often just for easy editing. If you click back into a cell that you already have something typed into, you can click up here, and this is going to help you easily edit a cell that you already have some sort of data or wording into. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And I'm going to show you guys just up here at a very baseline sort of what the different functionalities Excel has. Um, so over here we have our clipboard. That's not commonly used unless you want to cut or paste data. Over here we have our font. So you can bold, italicize, underline cells. Let's give you a quick example of that. So if I type dog into the cell and I highlight it and I want to put a border on the box, I could put all borders. When I click out of it, as you can see, there's now a nice little border around the word dog. I'm going to go ahead and back that up. I don't need any of that. You can also highlight different cells. Here you can change the font color, the size, and up here you can change the font type. Over here we have alignment. So with alignment, again, if you're looking at a certain cell and I type something into that cell, I could click into that cell and I could say, let me center it. So here I want to align it in the middle and centrally across the column. You can also use all sorts of different indentations. They've got a bunch of different stuff that you can sort of play around with up there. Another interesting little thing that Excel has is sometimes, say, you have a longer word. So say you want to type in mashed potatoes. And as you can see, mashed potatoes sort of jumps outside the boundaries of the box. And if you're working with a big series of data, sometimes that can make things confusing. So what I like to do is I like to go up here in between columns, and as you can see, I get this little arrow, and I can actually drag that column and make it wider. It's going to make the whole entire column wider, not just the cell. But as you can see, mashed potatoes now fits into that cell. Another option, if you don't want to make the whole entire column wider, you just want to make the cell wider, you can highlight multiple cells and you can hit merge and center. As you can see, this has now become one cell. You haven't affected the width of these columns down here, but you've also managed to fit this word mashed potatoes into a singular sort of cell without it spilling out onto either side. One thing to note that when you're doing that merge and center functionality, is that it is only going to keep the data in the upper leftmost cell. So let's unmerge and center this, and say I wanted to merge it with all 4 of these different boxes. It's only going to keep what's here in the upper left. So now I've got one merged cell right there saying mashed potatoes. Finally, over here, you can play with the format of a given cell. Let me delete this and let me go ahead and put a number in. So let's go ahead and put in the number 90. If I go up here into number, it's going to pull up a box that looks something like this. Here we have general, where it's not really specifying the data type that it is, but I can change that into a number. And here I can edit the number of decimal places I want. So if I want 2 decimal places, let's do 1 decimal place. If I want 1 decimal place, I'll type that in right there and select OK. We now have 90.0. If I come back and go to number, I can change this to all different sorts of things. I can change this to accounting, so I can change that to a dollar value. I can change it to a date. I can change it to a time, a percentage, a fraction, even text. I can change this really to anything. So that is how you're going to edit the sort of type of data that you're working with. So if you want to say work with the dates and say I want to type in 3-14. Right now, since it's formatted as a number, it's going to divide that out. But if I wanted to go in and make that a date, let's see, let's try this again. Let's begin actually. Let's first make this thing a date, select OK, and then go back, delete that, and type in 3-14. Make that a little wider so we can see it. You now see that we have March 14th. So again, this is all just Excel's way of specifying the type of data that you're working with. Over here we have conditional formatting. This is a little more specific, a little more complicated, so I won't get into it for now. There's also various other functionalities in the insert. This is actually where we are going to make our graph from, is right up in here. There's also a couple of different other advanced functionalities that you can do with the layout, with formulas, and even whenever you're working with data sets, all within Excel. But for now, I'll just stick to what I've got, and I won't make anything too complicated. So let's now take an example, and let's say that we are tasked with generating a chart for a company. So we've got a new company that's a couple years old, and let's go say that the company was conceived in 2016. I can now drag this down here. It's going to fill those, all of them, whenever I drag. I can hit fill series, and as you can see, it's going to bring it all the way down to 2021. And in fact, let's make this 2022, and to do that, I'm just going to grab the lower right-hand corner. I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to press this auto fill options button right here, and I'm going to hit fill series. So now we have 2022, and this is the year that we're working with. So let's type that in right there. Next, let's type in profits. And as we talked about earlier, let's go ahead and put in a business name for this. So let's call this Easy Eats. We'll call this our business name, and this is sort of what the profits have looked like from 2016 to 2022. Let's go ahead and merge and center this. And let's say in 2016 we made $100. 2017 we made $500. Next we made $2,000. Next we made $10,000. Next we made 35, 50, and finally $100,000. As you can see, this is not formatted as a currency, so let's highlight these cells. Let's right click. Let's hit format cells, and let's go to currency. This is now going to format this as currency. So now we've got our profits in. Let's make this look a little nicer by highlighting everything. Let's center it all. And let's put some lines around it. Now we can see that we have our company called Easy Eats. We have the year that it was conceived in 2016 and how many profits it's made by year until 2017. The next thing we want to do is we want to make a graph from that data. So let's go and let's highlight the whole data that we want to make a graph from. Let's go to Insert. And these up here are all different types of data. So here we have a column or bar chart. You can hover over to see what they are. Pie chart. For now, I'm just going to go with a scatter plot. And I'm going to click, let's go with this one right here so that we have the line already filled in. And as you can see, Excel made this automatically, so it auto-generated this. I didn't really have to do too much manual work to get that in there. It did grab something a little bit different than what I was hoping for the title. So let's go ahead and type in Easy Eats Profit by year. And the next thing, once you have a graph like this, is you can sort of play with some more advanced functionality. If you go in to this right here, chart elements, I want to add axis titles, and that's all I want to add for now. So once I check that box for axis titles, I can actually click into this box, I can put it down, and over here on the y-axis we have profits, and on the x-axis we have the year. As you can see, we have now successfully made a graph demonstrating the profits of Easy Eats by year, and that is symbolic of that data. So that's a quick, easy way to sort of do that, and I hope that helps. Please subscribe to Quick Tips for more helpful advice like this. We'll continue to learn more and more about Excel, and I'll continue to deploy information on more advanced functionalities of Excel. For now, I hope this is helpful, and I hope you see you back.